Bit 16, you've never seen a review like this. Christmas games you cannot tame, these things you don't miss. Snesman is the champion, he is 16-bit. Snesman is the champion, he is 16-bit.
Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo. As my holiday present, I'm going to review it for you. Oh boy! Based on the popular Tim Burton Batman movie, this is also the most popular Super Nintendo Batman game. Why is it so popular? Well, let's take a look and get down to gaming. Our opening cutscene shows us a dark skyline of Gotham City. Then, jutting out of nowhere is Michael Keaton as Batman. Right after this, we see Batman racing to the scene of the crime in his fancy Batmobile. Welcome to your first level as Batman. As far as Batman games go, this is one of the best. It was made by Konami, a great company that makes all kinds of action games like this. Like Mario, Batman has to plow through waves of enemies, but in this case it's not Goombas, it's clowns. Luckily you get cool moves to take them down like jump kicks, your Batarang, test tube bombs, and many throws. There's all kinds of ways to throw these clowns around. One of the ways is to throw them through shop window displays. Doesn't that give you Christmas spirit? The most famous though is where Batman slams two clowns' heads together. Now that's brutal. The graphics are great and detailed, and there's also a cool Christmas theme to this game. There's always snow, there are Christmas trees, and of course evil clowns jumping out of Christmas presents. This is what the holiday has stooped to.
Santa, how has your holiday spawned so much violence?
Good old Christmas beat-em-ups. Anyway, let's talk about the level design. After the first level, you start going in these strictly two-dimensional levels. On these levels, you can't punch. That's right, you have to throw batarangs instead. And I really don't like this, because when enemies jump at you, the batarang doesn't have enough force to knock them away, so you're constantly getting hurt over and over. The only other move you have in these 2D levels is the grappling hook, which can be pretty awkward. But the hardest part of the game is the boss battles. They start out pretty easy, especially when you can move around and punch like normal. But once you get to the hard stages like the Penguin, they become ridiculous. All you have is your stupid batarang and a bunch of smart bombs. At least now you know what to ask Santa for Christmas. Mercy. The bosses seem really unfair to me. For some reason, they have ridiculous amounts of health and attack patterns that you can't really dodge or learn. And whose bright idea was it to make you have to fight Catwoman 2 times in a row? I'm usually a fan of video game bosses, but these ones just left me with a sour experience. But still, there are lots of things I like about this game. On the normal levels where you can punch and kick, the action is tight, responsive, and fast. The controls are very responsive and work fine. There's also quite a bit of variety for a beat-em-up game. Most of these games are standard beat up the waves of enemies, but this one mixes it up a little bit. I also love the orchestral Danny Elfman style music. They did a good job with this music, unlike a certain other Batman game we know of, Batman Forever, a game that mocks everything Batman stands for. Turn it off! My ears can't bleed anymore! Batman Forever is one of those movie-based game failures where they tried hard but did a terrible job. This game was truly wretched, not because of the graphics and the music, but because of the gameplay. Just try getting that grappling hook up there, Batman. So, in conclusion, we should be eternally grateful to Konami for giving us a good Batman game. Things to make it better. An improved version of the side-scrolling levels. You should be able to punch without having to get really close to your enemies. Batarang should never be your prime weapon. Better boss designs with memorable patterns and less health. A password option and possibly a 2-player mode. That would make this game more rich of an experience. Batman Returns. Still a good game though. So, the question is, how will this measure up on my excellent grading system from 1 to 10? On my system, a number 1 is a wretched, horrible game, even worse than Batman Forever, and a 10 is an incredible game, one of the top games on the Super Nintendo. So, get ready, judges. This is going to be the judgment of a lifetime! Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo scores a 7 out of 10.
The nerve! Why didn't you give Batman a better score?
Well, I did think it was the best Batman game on the Super Nintendo, but even then, it's not incredible. It has some pretty big flaws.
Like what?
The side-scrolling levels where you couldn't punch, the long, lengthy, annoying boss
Those
battles.
build character!
Batman Returns may not be perfect, but still, Konami did a good job and it's a fun game. The action is intense, the graphics are good, the music is pounding. It's overall a good game. There were 3 Batman games, and here's my rundown of it. Batman Forever was true bottom-feeding filth. Destroy it if you can get your hands on it. The Adventures of Batman and Robin had a ton of potential, but the problem is it's rare, hard to get your hands on it, and the gameplay isn't as good as the potential. That leaves Batman Returns as the best of the series. If you're a big Batman fan or a huge Brawler fan, don't listen to any of my negative statements. Just play it. Alright everyone, it's the winter season, so I'm gonna close you all with a merry song.
Well, it's Christmas, and I have got a plan. Go play Batman.
Genius.